Again. Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to another episode of Disney Assembled. I'm Troy.
And I'm Mimi.
And we are your happy little father-daughter podcast, here to create joy and share our love for all things Disney.
Disney Assembled is sponsored by our patrons over on Patreon. If you would like to join them, check out patreon.com/Disney Assembled.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate your consideration of that. Membership starts as little as $2 a month. And with that, you get access to all the exclusive patron-only content. Mimi, we are live, as if you're watching the video. I guess if you're watching the video after the fact, you can tell there was a little snafus there in the beginning. But it is Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. You are home for Thanksgiving.
I am. Yes.
I am home for Thanksgiving, and we are back together in the studio. And if you're watching the video portion of this particular episode 291. By the way, if you look to the side, we have a special guest with us today. It's our friend Andrew, who's been a longtime supporter of Disney Assembled, a member of the family, and has been gracious enough to join us for our conversation today as we are broadcasting live on our YouTube channel and also getting this episode out soon. So, Mimi, before we jump in with Andrew, what's going on? Anything of note, anything of importance? No, as we get closer to episode 300?
Too close.
Well, I have to fit into the screen.
I have to
fit into the screen.
Driving me crazy. I can feel the breath when you're talking.
Okay, well,
the feeling.
There's only room. Like, look, you talk.
Oh, okay. Just talk at the camera. Anyway, not much is going on. I'm just home for Thanksgiving. I'm really ready for this semester to end. Yeah. Well, what's funny about it is I don't have any assignments left. I finished them all before I came here. I turned them all in. I'm done. There's nothing on my canvas for me to do next week except get my hair cut.
That's on your canvas?
It's on my calendar, really.
Oh.
Getting my hair cut, and then we have semi-formal on Friday. The Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie comes out also on Friday.
You'll be at a football game on Friday.
Stranger Things, not this Friday, next Friday. Stranger Things Season 5 comes out tomorrow, Volume 1. I've never talked about Stranger Things on this show, but guys, I was all in on Stranger Things. All in. It was bad. It was legitimately so bad. Trust. They can tell you. I talked about it all the time, incessantly, for 5 years. And we during 2019 when the third season came out over the summer, we had we didn't have the fancy smart TV that would split the screen in half. So we would watch an episode of Stranger Things, and then we would go watch the Women's World Cup, and then we would go back to Stranger Things, and then back to the Women's World Cup. And we would just flip back and forth all day for a week.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't remember
big
anything
football
about
game.
Stranger Things.
Big football game this Friday.
Yes.
Texas A&M. Very excited.
Very good.
I will be present.
Yep. Lots going on. I did not pull a new trivia question card out of the box, but I know you made up a question last week. Do you remember the question you had for people? Because we have to give them an answer.
But yeah, Andrew sent me the question.
Right?
Didn't you answer the question?
I think I answered the question. Something to do with, let's see. What was the
answer that you sent me did not click with what I remember.
But do you even remember what
the
question was?
No, the thing is no, I don't.
What was the toy
barn?
I
have a Disney Dad joke of the week for this.
That's what it was. It's what's the toy barn? That's what it was.
The toy store. Yeah.
Al's Toy Barn. That's the answer.
So there is the answer to last week's trivia question, which
Al's
was
Toy Barn. Wait,
the name of the toy store in Toy Story 2.
We did
Al's Toy Barn. Yeah, we did all those already. We don't have any more questions. We got to pull them.
The question box is back there. It's that white box
behind Woody, and
it is the only
really
thing
difficult.
We need to prepare every week,
and we don't. So we should pull that box
out.
Well,
you live here.
We should.
I don't live here.
I think I'm gonna pull that box out permanently and just put it on the side and put something else back there behind Woody to prop him up. So
we've been going for 4 minutes, and Andrew has said nothing because we've just been talking.
Enjoying this. I'm enjoying this.
All good.
The future chatter.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, Andrew's going to be with us for the remainder of this episode. He's with us now, right? He's with us for the remainder of the episode. We're going to talk about his Disney fandom and I believe we're getting maybe to some of his Disneyland vacation from this past summer. I know we do that, but since we gave the trivia question, you want to do this week's dad joke of the week?
Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Disney fans of all sorts, it is time for this week's Disney dad joke of the week. Mimi,
Yeah.
remember that time we went to Epcot and we ate at the Nine Dragons restaurant in the China Pavilion?
I do remember.
It was
that.
actually a really good meal. We were a little skeptical because Chinese food, typically Chinese cuisine tastes the same pretty much everywhere you go. But this was a particularly good meal. At the end of that meal, if you remember, they brought out, cookies for everyone.
Yeah.
The fortune cookies. I got my cookie and broke into it, and mine had nothing in it.
Hmm.
It was just a blank sheet of paper. Yeah, that was quite unfortunate.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
That one was mid.
yeah.
That one
Because
was
you're
mid.
supposed to get a fortune.
Oh, wait, I have one.
What?
Okay, so there's this woman and she works in our dining hall. Her name is Linda. She's really nice. I really like her. She has jokes.
Hmm.
And like she tells me a new joke every time I go to the dining hall. And I told her about the show and how you do Disney dad jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave me one. And oh my gosh, wait, how does it start? I know the punchline. Oh, it's what is Yoda's last name?
I
L-E who? You just say it all together.
Yodelaihu.
Yeah.
Ah, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Linda.
Good.
See, it's not so easy to do the joke of the week. You kind of know it, but you got to
She
figure
gave
it
me
out.
that joke like 2 weeks ago, and I
Yeah.
just remembered it off the top of my head. I took a picture, like wrote it down. I like took a picture of it, and I was like, I'm gonna show Papa this, and then I didn't, and now I'm breaking it out.
Thanks a lot, Linda.
I really like her. She's so nice. I'm gonna miss her when I move away, but I'm not gonna miss the dining hall.
All right. Well, I'm going to miss these conversations if
Wow.
we have to stop doing them after episode 300 or so, but we'll have to get to that later. But Andrew is here. Andrew, yay! Supporter of the show. If you've listened to the show for any length of time and we do our trivia question answer, many times we say, Andrew answered. This is the Andrew that we've been talking about all this time. And after 290 episodes, he's finally joining us.
290.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good.
nuts.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're here.
I'm happy you're here too. Andrew, why don't we get started with this? Because people who are listening to the show, all 10 of them.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Okay.
Or accurate.
All the dozens of people who are listening out there, I know they're interested. How would you describe the reason that you are a Disney fan? How would you describe this? Someone says, Andrew, why do you like Disney so much?
Man,
Hopefully you wouldn't say I don't like Disney. Why do you ask me that? But what is your answer?
I think it's just the pure joy that it brings. I mean, from the first time you walk in the park, meeting the character that you see on TV your whole life, and you finally get to hug them, just the pure happiness and everything. From all the movies to the cartoons, watching Donald Duck sit here throwing a tantrum all the time and you just laughing. I don't know what it was. It resonated. And then, of course, as you grow older, Pixar took over. And, of course, you got the very first movie I saw, which was Toy Story in theaters, which is crazy to think about. And then that love just stuck.
Yeah. Real.
Yeah.
I was making a disgusted face earlier because Papa swallowed in my ear. It was absolutely disgusting. It's horrible. Anyway.
The mic was on mute. No.
Okay. Well, that's so true. The happiness, like the nostalgia factor, I think, of like having grown up with it, especially like in its what I would consider to be its golden age. Like I think the rise of Pixar is definitely like a huge golden age moment for Disney because there's so much that exists within Pixar that I think fundamentally changed like the way that they do entertainment and the way that they animate and their storytelling. Like Up is like one of those stories, Toy Story is one of those stories, and you're sort of in between us, right?
Yeah.
So like, and I think that's a really interesting perspective.
I think this week was the 30th anniversary of Toy Story.
Yeah, I believe it's
being
correct.
released.
Yeah, and I think
That's
it's back in
crazy.
30
theaters too.
years. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was back over the summer or something. I can't believe that there's a fifth movie coming out. That's really bizarre.
I was very content with 3 and how it ended. I didn't mind 4, but I'll go see it. I have no problem going to see 5, and hopefully it ends on a good note.
That's kind of how I feel about Zootopia. I know everyone's really into Zootopia, and I'm just kind of not. I don't know. Like I thought it was good,
Yeah,
and I thought it stands alone. I did not think it needed a sequel.
no, I
But
agree
my mind might
completely.
change depending on if I like the sequel.
I think it's gonna be good. I
It
like
came
the
out
first
today
movie. It
It
came out
actually comes
today?
out
or
tonight.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah,
Tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah. Well.
I don't know.
So Andrew, would you say when it comes to your Disney fandom, do you lean more towards the film and television content or the parks? Like which is what pulls you more towards Disney?
Oh, that's a tough one because growing up, it was always the replays of all the old original cartoons from Steamboat Willie, and then I became the generation for the DComs, the Disney Channel original movies. So I have seen literally every single one of them. And now, growing up, you always like, where can we rewatch these? Where can we rewatch these? Luckily, Disney Plus came out, and we're getting to re-experience them all over again. So I would say the movies have been real big, and then especially now that Marvel has taken over with Disney, or excuse me, have joined forces with Disney, that love has just taken off real big.
Hmm.
So I would say I'm leaning towards the movies, and hopefully the future movies are going to do justice for it. Like you
Hmm.
said, Zootopia. I'm on the fence too. We'll see what happens, but I will probably go see it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like digesting everything you just said.
No, no,
I'm
that's
like
fine.
really bad at responding today. I'm like actually just fully
That's something
engaged with what you're
usual for
saying.
you. So
Yeah. Well,
So I was not Disney Channel movie person. I can't
yeah,
I don't think I could name two that
that's
I've
not
probably
true.
seen.
Name two.
I think you and I saw the Austin and Alley movie. Didn't
Nah.
Austin Alley
no,
have a
Well,
movie?
no, he's
no,
in Teen
He's in
Beach movie.
the Teen Beach movie. Yeah, that
yeah.
guy. And we also watch. I think maybe you and I watched the. Did we watch Descendants one time?
Yes,
One of the first
Descendants
ones,
is
something like
one.
that. That's
I
about
kind of got
yeah.
the tail end of the good Disney Channel original movies, and you kind of had the golden age of Disney Channel, and I sort of had the end
Mhm.
of like quality Disney
Mhm.
Channel content for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something that we've talked about a lot about how the Disney Channel originals that you grew up with are like just very different than mine, but like still better than whatever they're producing now.
And there's some stuff I don't know what's coming out now. I haven't had a lot of time, quite frankly, to watch a lot of content. I mean, I started watching a few things, and I just don't have the time to watch. I don't have time to watch a lot of content. Let's put it that way.
Have you seen Inside Out original yet?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but I did not watch the second one.
Oh,
I
the
liked the
second one
second
was
one.
very good.
Yeah,
I have to
I'm
agree. I
sure it
think the
is.
second one was better.
I can't watch more than 30 minutes of TV
No,
before
that's
like
fair.
falling asleep.
No, that's
I
fair,
can't. I don't have an
especially with
attention
the
span
schedule.
for it.
What are some other Disney sequels that you think are better than the original? Like Inside Out 2, I think is better than the original. And I think Toy Story 2 outdoes the first one.
I have to say, I agree with Toy Story 2 being better than the first one.
Hmm.
Inside Out 2, to me, I really enjoyed how they played off the anxiety end better than I did the first one. Ooh, another sequel that was better. I really enjoyed the second Incredibles over the first one, and I know that's a hot take.
Really,
I
that is a
really
hot
like.
take.
I don't know why. I like seeing Mr. Incredible staying home, dealing with the
Mhm.
kids, and that whole storyline with Jack Jack. To me, was just so funny and well worth it. And seeing how the mind manipulation of the anti-hero over there, the villain, I thought was so much
Mhm.
better than the other guy. I can't even think of his name. I really like the second one
Syndrome.
much better. Syndrome. but I liked her with the head with the glasses so much better than
Mhm.
Helen.
They definitely took a huge critique from the first movie
Yeah.
and like changed, and not only changed that for the second one, but like made up for it in the
Mhm.
second one, because like you spend a lot of the first movie's exposition learning that Elastigirl is like just as cool and strong as Mr. Incredible, and then you don't get to see her do anything except for at the very
Exactly.
end. And that's definitely an injustice to her. And I think that's a great take. I also think Cars 2 is more entertaining than Cars 1. I don't
That's
know.
huge coming
Like
from
the
you.
spy, I know the spy thriller is so fun. Like Cars 1 is the better movie, okay? Like I'm not going to pretend like it's not. But Cars 2 is like more entertaining. Like the spy thriller is like so ridiculous, and like Mater is like kind of insufferable, but like that was like the biggest plot twist that I could have
Yes.
possibly like conceived in my head when I was a kid. I was like, "Oh my god, like it was him the whole time." Like, and I rewatched it recently as an adult, and like you low-key like don't you like it still doesn't, they don't make it clear. It's not like an obvious like Scooby-Doo villain where like
Right.
you're like, "Oh wait, I should have known." Like no, like there's no hints that it was possibly Axelrod. So I think that's probably my Pixar hot take. I really enjoyed Cars 2. Cars 3 is stupid and shouldn't have been made, but
Yeah, no, I can agree with Cars 3 is not the best, but I'll throw a wrench in it. I know y'all both hate. Planes 2 was better than the first Planes.
both planes are useless.
But they are useless. They are, but Planes 2 was so much better.
Well,
So
yeah,
I'll
because
throw
it wasn't just cars.
exactly. You get
It
to
was its
see
own story.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Planes could have been successful if the
Mhm.
first movie wasn't literally Cars. Like if it wasn't the exact same story, I think Planes could have totally had success in
100%
Pixar.
agree.
Absolutely. I mean, like kids
100%
who
agree with
like cars also are going to be kids who like planes, okay? It's like dinosaurs.
Air based IPs don't sell enough toys and merch. Ground based IPs sell more toys and merch, and you can build
Really?
better rides
Did
with
you see
ground
any Planes
based.
merch in Disney? I didn't.
Okay, but also that's because Planes sucks. If Planes didn't suck, it there might have been merch. You know what I did see a lot of, and I'm curious to know if a lot of this was still left over when you were in Disneyland, just to kind of transition into that. There was tons of Elio merch all over Disneyland because that
I
movie
didn't
came
see
out, I think, while we
anything.
were there. Really?
I didn't see anything
Dang.
Elio due to the fact that the hunt began before we went, and it's a whole story. But my coworker's daughter is obsessed with the movie Up, and all she wanted was Doug. So we went to every toy store they had to find a Doug stuffed animal. And
They
luckily,
didn't
my
have one?
girlfriend they had one in one store in Disneyland, but they wouldn't sell the display. I don't know why, but I get it. Luckily, in DCA, while I was riding the Ferris wheel of death, Liesel went in and to the toy store and Pixar Pier and found the last remaining Doug and was able to steal it for her.
Oh,
And
that's
that was,
cute.
yeah, and she has carried it everywhere with her. I mean, it's constantly Uncle Drew got me the Doug doll every time I see her. It is adorable,
That's
but no
precious.
That's
Ilio.
cool.
Yeah, no
No,
Ilio.
Elio.
I was shocked. Yeah, I was very shocked not to see that. And that was actually a really good movie. We finally sat down and watched it the other night, my mom and I. Kind of enjoyed it.
You liked it? We
I
haven't
did.
watched it. It
It
hasn't
was
been on
very
my
different.
priority.
It was
Hmm.
different from all the other ones, and I really enjoyed it. And I don't want to give any spoilers away. I think you would enjoy it because it's a whole different storyline than a normal Pixar movie.
Hmm.
So, and it was very clever on what they did.
Okay, yeah. That's really interesting to me because that movie came out, I think, either right before or while we were actually at Disneyland.
Mhm.
And it was like July, mid-July, late July.
I
And
have no idea.
the shelves were just stocked with Elio stuff. It was everywhere. It was in every gift shop, every attraction gift shop. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm really surprised that 2 months later that they had just wiped everything from the
Completely sold
shelves.
out.
Hmm.
Completely sold
Sold
out.
out or taken out?
I want to say it was sold out
Probably taken out.
because I don't know because the main store Well, y'all weren't there. Y'all were there for the Halloween area, right? Was it there Halloween for y'all or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, then maybe they did take it out because the Shop Disney in the Springs was all Halloween and all 70th anniversary. So there really wasn't much of the Pixar stuff, but in Pixar Pier, it was all Toy Story, Nemo, everything, but no Ilio. So when you ask around, the lady was like, "I think we sold out of it," because there were people asking for it, which kind of was like
Hmm.
shocking that there was nothing there.
I was
So
shocked people were asking about it because I really didn't hear anything about the movie. Like your review just now is like the only thing that I've heard about it at all.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. Heard anything. So you were in Disneyland this summer. You went to DCA and Disneyland. How many days did you spend in the parks?
we were there 2 days, 1 day each, and I wish I had more time. I really do. I thoroughly enjoyed it for the first time going to Disneyland and DCA. I would have loved to have a little bit more time. Yeah, I really would have.
3 days is a good sweet spot. I know you were there too.
Mhm.
One more day. We were there, what, five?
We were there. We had 4 park
Four
days,
park days, and
and
it
it
felt
was
like we
too
had
many
done
park days.
it was plenty of time. Plenty of time. So
Do you feel like you were able to do everything that you wanted to do in the 2 days you were there?
Yes and no. The problem was when we went, a lot of stuff was down for refurbishment. Like I know
Mm.
I was very bummed because I wanted to compare the Big Thunder Mountain to Disneyland and Disney World. Couldn't ride that. Um, we couldn't do the Cars Land. Cars Land. Some of the rides in Cars were down. None of the shops were open. They were refurbishing everything there. But everything that we needed to do, or I'm sorry, the answer, everything that we wanted to do, we were able to do.
Okay,
So the answer to that, yes,
gotcha.
we were.
so let's go through the park. Let's start with let's start with DCA. DCA. So you
Okay.
said that the Cars Land, a lot of that stuff was down. Did you get to ride anything in Cars Land, or
We
I know
did,
that the Racers was going to go down for a little while, but
yes. That was down. I was there. Okay, I'm sorry, I was lied. Mater's was up and Luigi's was up. We did both of those. So Cars Land was empty. Out of all the areas, Cars Land was completely
Hmm.
empty. Um, we rope dropped DCA and we got in line. And I have to say, the way the staff was at DCA was so much better than Disneyland when it came to the rope drop.
Hmm.
Due to the fact that I didn't realize the rope drop, you literally stood behind a rope. Like we all went straight, of course, to Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, in Disneyland, everybody ran. They actually walked every group, depending on where they wanted to go, to the section and then let you go. So no one got
Hmm.
trampled over. Everybody was all in one big line. Um, the guy was cracking jokes. He was hysterical. He asked where everybody's nationality was, like who's been here, who's been fantastic group. The ones in Disneyland, not so much. Just we're gonna move, go have fun. But so we rope dropped that and went straight to Guardians. Had an absolute blast. Get out of Guardians, and the first thing we run into is, as my mom calls them, the giant tree. So we immediately walked out of Guardians and walked right into Groot. From Groot, Iron Man, all the Wakanda, oh the
The
guards.
Dora Milaje, yeah.
Thank you. Then we saw Black Panther, Ant Man, all of them, Iron Man, and then we walked into Web Slingers. I mean, we just walked on everything. It was fantastic.
Hmm.
Turn the corner, Spider Man was there. And this whole time, you're just able to talk and enjoy the moment. And you forget where you're at. All of a sudden, you're like, wait a minute. We're in a whole different universe. And I loved everything about it. The problem with Disney California Adventure for me was it's too short. There's not a lot to do. Every ride was broken down pretty much at one point. Guardians
Mm.
shut down at 12 o'clock. We couldn't rewrite it for Rocket's takeover. Web Slingers went down. The Incredicoaster never did work. It was only testing, and it would get stuck at every time. So there wasn't a whole lot to do. But seeing the characters as you walked around made it worth it. I do wish there was more to do, and I'm very excited to see what happens with the new rides coming to California Adventure. Like, I'm very excited to see how the Tony Stark ride's going to be, because I know RDJ
Yeah.
has a big, big influence into that ride.
Yeah. I think that's fair. That's kind of how we felt about DCA. Like, we didn't spend very much time there. Like, the most time that we spent there, we spent talking to characters in Avengers
Yes,
Campus. Like,
agreed.
actually doing attractions. We just sort of flew through them. There was either no line, or it was broken, or not on for whatever reason.
Is there anything that was open that you rode that stands out that you really enjoyed? Or
I had to say, I really enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy. For the life of me, I cannot remember the song they played, but my whole car was singing the song as we're just constantly getting pulled. And what's crazy is, as I'm sure Mimi, you know, the ride's different every ride and how many times you're pulled up and down. We were up and down 12 times. Even after the storyline was over with, we kept going and singing. And
That's fun.
it was incredible. The technology for Web Slingers just blew my mind when it came to that end, and that whole storyline with Peter was just phenomenal. All the little Easter eggs they have. I could have spent all day on both rides just looking at all the stuff in the queue. Unfortunately, at one point they both went down. So the character interaction became real fun, which is where we got the Ant-Man joke for y'all. And I give it to the cast when it came to the Marvel characters. When you know the lore and you can play into the lore, it's a lot of fun. Liesl is just now getting into Marvel. So she's seen everything up to Endgame, and she's slowly going into Forge. She went and saw Fantastic Four with me. But when it came to Loki and Thor, she was just all giddy and excited like I was with Iron Man. We didn't get to see Captain, all except when he walked by. He had another show to go to, so we didn't get to see him. But the Marvels came out, which was fantastic. Unfortunately, Wanda and all them never made an appearance. But Loki's character, to me, stands out the most because he tries to do that little Loki mind thing that he does with you. So we're on his side as an ally. So when the next character we saw was Thor, my girlfriend goes, well, he's an ally to Loki. And then, of course, Thor walks over and he puts his hand on here. He goes, are you sure? So you play into the lore. And you're like, wait a minute. Who's Loki? Like, no, I'm with you. So you play into it. It was phenomenal. So it was great.
How do you feel? Wait, no, continue.
No, go ahead.
How do you? Okay, so you and I have had like extensive conversations about like where we think the MCU is going. Like, I'm fully convinced that the spaceship that we see in the end credit scene of the Thunderbolts is Doom coming from the Fantastic Four multiverse with Baby Franklin. We've talked about this. You and I talked about this.
Yes.
One of my not concerns, but not even really like critique, but one of my observations about Avengers Endgame Campus was that I thought it was weird from a lore perspective that these characters would be there, and you have to bend the lore a little bit just to justify them being there, right? Like I can buy that Thor is at Avengers Campus, fine. I can even buy the story of Avengers Campus that it's a training facility. But how do you feel about like how this new age or this new saga of Marvel like fits into the lore of Avengers Campus? Because it seems to definitely play on the Infinity Saga with these characters, but we're not really moving in that sort of direction anymore. And if Thor is retired, why is he there? If that makes sense.
No, I agree completely. It felt, I want to say it was like a little discombobulated, if that makes sense. I felt more of on a Shield side. Like I felt like I was in the show Shield looking for that cast, not our cast. I understand Strange had his own area, which kind of didn't really fit. Seeing the Wakandans walk around was very out of place to me as well. But and it's also like you go from the Avengers campus, you turn around and you're supposed to be in I think Brooklyn area where Spider-Man is, and it kind of like
Yeah.
it was out of
It's
place.
supposed to be New York. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all out of place. I get what they were trying to do, but I don't see how the new stuff is going to fit in. I agree with that completely. So I am excited to see what upgrades they are to bring in the future because one of the members said they are upgrading a lot more that they're not talking about right now. But I don't know if that's true or not. But we shall see. But
It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder about this Stark attraction, which I think is going to be fantastic. I'm really excited to hopefully go back when that attraction opens and see how it changes the flow of that area, right? Because like you said, like that area can be really dead if there's nothing going on. So I'm really curious to see how that changes that area. But Tony Stark is no longer alive. And I understand you can't have an Avengers area and not have Iron Man. Okay, like I can buy into that. Fine. But it feels like a disservice to true fans to not only have like a whole attraction based after him as if he is alive, but also to have his meet and greet not be in Brooklyn with Spider-Man. Like it should be in that area of the park or of that area of the land instead of over in the park. But really, the main continuity error in Avengers Campus that really bugs me is that there are both versions of Captain America. I think if they
I agree.
stuck with just the Sam version and cut the Steve Rogers version, I would be able to buy into the rest of it really well because Thor and Loki, like these are characters that we know are still alive in the canon somewhere. You can always just say that Loki is a variant. We know Groot is alive somewhere. We know Black Panther is alive somewhere. I mean, we got a new Black Panther at the end of the sequel. The Dora Milaje, fine. I can buy into that. Iron Man, I'm even willing to bend how I feel about that because, again, you can't have Avengers without Iron Man. But you can't have both captains.
Agree.
I really struggle with that.
No, I agree.
They had both Black Panthers out.
They had both Black Panthers?
Yeah.
Not when I went.
I thought it was just Shuri.
I thought
you
I
had
saw
Shuri?
both of them.
Oh, I'm jealous. I wasn't expecting.
Wait, you had Chadwick Boseman?
I did. I had Boseman's character. I'm a little jealous. I was.
Here's the problem.
We had Shuri's character.
But so this is where I'm going to jump in with what you're saying is what is killing Galaxy's Edge. Kids don't care.
Yes.
Kids don't care about the movie stories. They know there's movies, but they also see cartoons, and these characters are still in the cartoons. And for little kids, that's their world. And so you're just, listen, suspend disbelief. Even the movies aren't real. It's all fiction. It's all make-believe. So who cares if Iron Man is there, but he died in Endgame, and I know you do, but I'm just saying.
No,
in general,
because how are you supposed to tell me as a cast member that the Scarlet Witch is not available because she's off doing Scarlet Witch activities, but the world exists in the world exists in a context in which Iron Man is alive long before she was the Scarlet Witch.
Because the cast
so
member,
I don't really understand what you're trying to say.
I'm going to explain to you because the cast.
Tiger.
No, because the cast member. Don't get snooty. The cast member is talking to you.
Well,
the cast member that you
talk.
Okay, but the cast member that you were speaking to was talking to a 20-year-old with backpack and ears, not an 8-year-old who watches cartoons. I guarantee you, the conversation they had with you is different than the conversation they're going to have with an 8-year-old, and it's different than the conversation they're going to have with a 12-year-old boy who doesn't care about Scarlet Witch. He just wants to see Steve Rogers, Captain
bad
America,
take.
or whatever. I mean, I'm just saying. Listen, I went to Galaxy's Edge. There was Luke Skywalker. There was Kylo Ren.
But that was only a problem.
Neither of them
recently.
exist in the same.
But that was only a problem as of recently because that's and so in lies my
But
point.
it's the same problem.
No, and so in lies
And it
my
wasn't
point.
old man Luke. It was black Return of the Jedi Luke.
Jedi Luke. Yeah, I know.
Which has nothing to do with the timeline of Galaxy's Edge.
Okay, but that's
So
my
you
point.
get all upset about the movies, and I'm just telling you, kids don't care.
But that's what I'm saying.
Kids don't care.
They spent all this time. They exert so much energy into making sure that the lore of Galaxy's Edge is continuous and falls in line with the films, which is why we don't have any cool characters or whatever in Florida, and they're holding on to that. And I feel like less intentionality was put into Avengers Campus. I feel like they just said, here, like, you know, that meme that's like, here, damn, like, it's like, ugh,
No.
whatever, here,
I don't.
take it, like, you want this so bad, here.
Throw your hand up in front of my face a little bit more in this episode. Why don't you?
Trash.
Ow, that hurt.
You have a big head.
Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's
I'm
Edge.
sorry, I hit
We're
you.
leaving DCA because I've had enough of this.
Let's go to Galaxy's Edge. How do you feel about the lore continuity errors in Galaxy's Edge?
You went to Disney. My turn. You went to Disneyland.
Yes.
In the back of Disneyland is Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
We've expressed our thoughts about Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. I'd like to hear what you thought of Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland.
Walking in to get to Rise, going from this beautiful, flourishing California scenery to turning around and walking behind this little gate, and you're a whole different world. You got the sounds of all the spaceships flying over, all the TIE fighters, and then you turn the corner and there's the X-Wing, there's the wonderful Falcon, which I thought was phenomenal. I absolutely was sitting there geeking out, of course, R2 being the favorite character, having all the droids, little tracks in the ground. You know, I was just in awe, literally speechless. I'm not gonna. I had tears in my eyes. I was so happy. It was just a great experience. The blue milk was just phenomenal.
Bad take.
So was this your first time in Galaxy's Edge?
First time all around Galaxy's Edge, yes. They were in talk of building it the last time I was in Disney World, which is when they were still building. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't even the discussion. The last time I was in Disney World, they were building Everest in Animal Kingdom. So that was the last time it's been a minute. But no, unbelievable. Being a fan of the Star Wars movie, seeing all the lore was just phenomenal. All the little shops, the cantina, which I didn't know at the time you had to book ahead of time. So we didn't get to do that, which I was very bummed about. But it was just, you forget where you're at. And I spent hours there. The downside to that was not one character was walking around except for Rey.
Where were they?
No idea. There was no Kylo Ren, no Luke. And when you pull up the character thing on the app, nobody. For all that was that to me was the downside to Disneyland the 2 days we were there. No characters anywhere. We just saw the main group from Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Pluto. Not even Goofy. We saw Eeyore in a passing getting onto Tiana's. We just saw Eeyore. No characters anywhere until like near the end of the day, and we got in line so Liesl could meet the princesses. And even then, it wasn't a guarantee what princess would be out, even though they told you who would be on there. But she got to meet Cinderella, which is all she wanted to do. So that wish came true. Stitch never came out, even though he was lined up to come out. Stitch never came out. So that was the only downside. But the character for Rey, when she came out, I was the only person by the Falcon. Of course, everybody is in line for Rise. From at 8 o'clock to like 10 o'clock, it was a 3 hour wait to get on Rise. It's where everybody was.
Mhm.
We walked on to the Falcon ride, the Smuggler's Run, which I thought was phenomenal. I
You
get
liked it?
where being a Star Wars lore fan, of course, from the Clone Wars to Rebels, seeing Hondo, which was a great surprise to me, and I was not expecting Hondo to pop up. I loved every bit about it. I get where you're coming from, where the ride was kind of cheesy, but walking onto the Falcon as they have it, I felt like I was a little kid watching Star Wars for the first time again with
Mhm.
you and Travis. You know, it really was. It was just it brought me right back to that nostalgia growing up to where I couldn't even think straight. It was phenomenal. But
It's definitely a lot of fan service that's
oh, it
done in that
was.
attraction for sure.
Mhm.
That one's not the best attraction in
Mhm.
Galaxy's Edge because it's all fan service.
Yes, I agree with that completely. Rise was unbelievable. I went in completely blind to both rides. I know everybody has their POVs and all this, which by the way, that bugged me. Speaking of that real quick, you were able to film a lot of stuff, if I'm not mistaken, with your camera.
Mhm.
Every
Right.
time I pulled out the GoPro to film something, I got told I couldn't film. Every single time I couldn't film anything.
Weird.
Hmm.
So I
Weird.
didn't know if there's an issue, but they're like, you need to put the camera down. You're not allowed to go film on this. You can't record this. So, it, did you have permission to do that? Did you have to ask? That was just a question I had. Speaking of that,
I think you had a more inconspicuous little
I
camera.
had like a little camera that just clipped to my shirt.
that's what I had. I was using my buddy's GoPro, but my cast members were just like, "Nope, you got to take it off."
Maybe they were just on it. I
Yeah.
felt like the cast members in Disneyland were a lot harsher than my experiences in Disney World. They weren't unkind, but they were a lot more strict, I think, on rules like that. And I think
Yes.
Papa just happened to get away with it.
So I want to talk to you a little bit more about your experience in Galaxy's Edge, and we'll move to the rest of the
Mhm.
part. So you rode both rides. You walked around. You
Yes,
met with Ray.
I
So
did.
you didn't see Boba Fett. You didn't
No,
see Ahsoka.
nope. She was
That's a
on the
shame.
docket. Yeah, no, we were very disappointed. Now, of course, I know we were rushed in a lot of sense trying the one day. Um, I also had to build a lightsaber at 10 o'clock. So, it was get there, get in line. And I will say, when it came to that, I don't know how it is in Disney World. I think brother built a saber, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all were able to sit in the room with him. That immersive experience to me was unbelievable. I, of course, went into that blind too. I know a lot of people were. I got permission to film that, so I got the little GoPro was set up. My mom was recording it. I was just in shock and awe how wonderful the cast was when it came to picking out your saber, uh, getting in line, the whole thing before to sit here and pick what tier you want to be, whether it's the Jedi, the Earth and Power, or the Sith. Which, of course, I picked the Sith because well, that's a whole different conversation when it came to them and the Jedi. But when you got to build the saber, and then out of nowhere, the room changes, the vibe changes, and you hear this voice, and it was just an amazing experience with that. And what was funny about my group, there was only 6 of us, and we all had like purple, red, purple, red, purple, red. There was no other
Purple's
color.
a great color.
It
Purple's
was an
such a good
awesome
choice.
color. No, it was hysterical because she's sitting there talking, she goes, "Oh, wait a minute. We have a mixed group here. Some of y'all have joined the wrong side." It was an amazing experience. And that's when we walked out, we walked right into Ray, who, of course, my girlfriend has no idea who she is. And y'all had that discussion a while back about the parks and if you don't know the movies, is it a good lore? And Liesl was so confused. So she's seeing characters like Kylo Ren on Rise and has no idea what's going on. So we are now going through the Star Wars movies so she can understand what's next. So when we got to Rey, we're introducing ourselves, and of course, we're from New Orleans. Rey goes, "Well, what happened to Old Orleans?" Me being
That's
me,
good.
me being me, knowing the lore, and I knew she would pick up on it. I said, "Oh, it was a Camino incident. It kind of flooded. We had a giant storm come in and hit."
Well,
I'm not wrong. You know,
well,
she goes, "The Empire hit
that's
y'all
really
too."
funny.
I said, "Yeah, the Empire took over, so we were like Camino. We had to rebuild somewhere else."
The Star Wars people have jokes. The cast members that
They
work
were
in Galaxy's
fantastic.
Edge are so good, and they're good in both
Yeah.
ends of the United States too. Like when Ahsoka asked you where the rest of your travelers were when you were holding all of our stuff.
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
Awesome.
Disneyland. So Disneyland has
Wait, have you not heard that story? We
No.
left him to go do Tiana's, and I gave him my backpack, and brother gave him his backpack, and mom gave him his purse. And so he's walking around Galaxy's Edge, and he runs into Ahsoka, and my Ahsoka ears were like tied to the backpack because I
Mhm.
had taken them off for the ride. And she comes up to him, and she's talking about how like I missed her and how that sucks and stuff.
Mhm.
But then she goes, "Where are the rest of your travelers? Is this
Yeah.
all of your cargo?" And Papa was like, "This is not all of my cargo. They're far, far away." Like,
Yeah, no,
and
that
that
was
was like they
yeah,
have jokes. They're
yeah.
good. So
No, I loved it.
what about the rest of the park? So like
Yeah, what
you
stands
would you
out?
say that you liked Disneyland more so than California Adventure?
And there was so much more to do, of course, in
Mhm.
Disneyland. The layout to me felt more organized. Now, of course, I'm so used to Disney World, but it's also been a while. I found it very more organized, um, to, and easier to walk around, so you didn't get as lost as easy. I really enjoyed going from Tomorrowland, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, directly into Galaxy's Edge, so we can go back and forth easier. Tomorrowland to me in the park was a little kind of a letdown. There wasn't anything open except for the Autotopia ride where you drive the go karts, Nemo's Voyager, which I understand the lore now. Enjoyed the ride, but I get it. And then Space Mountain. But and I was shocked to see the old rocket cars where the track was still there for that. And
Mhm.
very surprised they didn't utilize that at all. Um, everything else was boarded up. Oh, except for Buzz Lightyear, which was a lot of fun. Uh, I can't remember the one in Disney World, but I really enjoyed the Buzz Lightyear in this one, where I think you can control the car better. I had more fun on that
That's
than
what we said, that we liked
I
the
really
California
did
one
enjoy
better.
that.
Yeah.
Going from there, we went directly to lunch because our reservation got screwed up several on the night, but they took care of. That's the thing I would say. The way something was screwed up, they took care of you no matter what. There was
Mhm.
never an issue. They always worked with you. From there, we went to, which I was very excited after years of seeing it, into the Haunted Mansion, or the Jack Skeleton version, which I thought
Mm.
so well done.
So special. That's so special. Like what you lost in Incredicoaster, you gained in
Yes,
Holiday Overlay Haunted Mansion.
it was the storyline was different the minute you walk in the door. You don't the stretching room was all different from all Nightmare Before Christmas, Zero floating around it was unbelievable. The cast members, instead of like the creepy haunted man, were completely different cast members. They were all nice and giggity and friendly, which kind of threw me for a loop, but I wasn't expecting that. The downside was they had issues with that ride all day long. So
Yeah.
you would go, that had to be them, and Pirates had to be our longest wait times in the entire park. And
We waited a long time for Pirates. while
we
were
even
there.
utilized I will say I bought the Lightning Lane passes to be safe for everything. We used it for 3 rides.
Ooh,
and
can
we
I
didn't-
guess?
Go ahead.
You use them on Pirates and Tiana's and Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, definitely. We walked
Definitely.
directly onto Tiana's. We didn't need, there was
Really?
no wait for Tiana's. Now, hot take on Tiana's. I don't know what they did in Disney World. No one told me it was a roller coaster in Disneyland.
Oh, the second drop, the one that's like, yeah.
Where the water went
That one will
over
get
your
you.
head, we were completely soaked.
Yeah, that's the one. It's not the big one. It's the second
No,
one. That's the
No,
worst.
it was all of a sudden it was 2 drops in one, and then I'm like, I am soaked. Which unfortunately I had to go back to the hotel to literally change shoes because of how bad it was.
I believe it.
No,
And it's like September, so it's like kind of chilly. So
Yes.
it's like not really gonna dry. Yeah.
no, but but that was the weird part. The park was busy, but there was no wait times. Like
Hmm.
Pirates and Pirates and the Haunted Mansion were the longest wait times. Hot take, I hated Pirates.
Like all the way around, like no redeeming qualities.
It's too long.
That I got bored halfway through the ride going, where's the lore compared to what I'm used to?
See, and we said that, and everyone on our TikTok yelled at us about how we don't,
They can
about
come
how
at me.
there's
but I don't
story
have a
in
TikTok.
California.
No, they can come at me. I don't have a TikTok, so they can't follow me there. I was bored. The best part
Yeah.
about the Pirates was the AC. And of course the famous smell of the water. But
Yeah.
there was so much gap in between. Like we went from Tortuga to a battle to the Fire Town, and then a big gap. Then we dropped. We went back up, went into the I'm bored. Like the
Yeah.
whole ride I was bored. I'm like, this is not, and I don't like the restaurant being right there. I didn't like the restaurant being part of the ride. I think that was a little weird. I wasn't expecting that. But
It doesn't, it's weird because it makes that section of the ride have absolutely nothing to do with the story.
yeah,
It just gets you from one place to another.
yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. You just went from here to there, and I'm like, okay. The Jack Sparrow being a part of it made no sense to me. Like they didn't utilize Jack at all, like I thought they would. Like he was just popped in like 3 spots here, and then the very end he's singing "A Pirate's Life" for me, and I'm like, but you didn't do anything.
See, I feel like that story, the Jack Sparrow story, is a lot more clear in the Florida version. And I know that the California one is the original, and so the Florida one's just a copy of the California one. But I think the story works a lot better in the Florida version, and I wish that the California version leaned more into the Gulf Coast, New Orleans of it all, because it's in New Orleans Square, and I think it could have been really interesting to do a pirate story about the Gulf of Mexico. And really lead into that area. And I don't feel like the ride does that, which makes it feel it like removes you thematically almost because it doesn't quite fit, even though the architecture is like the similar Gothic architecture. We have about like 5 minutes before I have to go because it's Dancing with the Stars. Dancing with the Stars night. It's the finale. So
That's
I
true.
think
Robert's
do you
gonna
have,
take it
I have
off.
a question. Do you
Well, I'm just curious to know, what were your, real quick favorite
That's what I was going to ask. Your top 3
Yeah.
experiences. in
top
the
3
park.
experiences at Disneyland, rides or whatever you got to do? What stands out as your favorite times?
Top 3, and I'm gonna have to say, being it's the original ride that Walt rode, I really enjoyed the Jungle Cruise as number 1, followed by, of course, Rise of the Resistance, and then Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Those are definitely the answers I thought you were going to say too.
Yeah,
I
those are good. Those are
love
good.
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise is a lot of fun. It's an underrated hit. We liked it better in California than we did in
Yeah,
Florida,
yeah,
I
for
agree.
sure.
we
I
did. We
agree.
did. We enjoy Disneyland. It's been a great place for us to visit. We're glad we went this summer. We're glad you got to go there. It gives us something to talk about some more.
I love having
Great.
you on the show.
Yeah, maybe at
I love
at
this.
another episode we can certainly do this. That's not a problem at all. I know that I will be heading to Disney World to do a conference, some professional stuff. I might try to walk around and peek around and see what's going on because the Christmas holiday
Yeah.
stuff will be all up at Disney World when I'm there. So maybe I can
And
get
I'm
some.
moving there.
And Mimi
That's
will be
so
there
exciting.
soon for the college program and all
I'm
that good stuff.
excited.
So yeah, I have a feeling we'll be
Lots of
visiting at
Disney
least
World
once to go
content.
see how she's.
You
how
should
she's
come
doing.
visit.
I will
Yeah,
definitely
we should make
try.
our way.
Definitely
Yeah.
try to come visit.
I'll be there a while. So
Yeah,
okay.
sounds good.
Thank you so much for joining us. This was
Andrew,
awesome.
yeah, thank you. And thank you for accepting the invitation sort of at the last minute. I know we were trying to put something together and we had to cancel and then we had to redo the schedule and so
That's
forth.
my fault. It's because I
That's
forgot
okay.
that Dancing
Yeah.
with the Stars was tonight.
But
It's
this has
okay.
been it's been great, and we appreciate you coming on and being with us. So as we start to transition to the end, Mimi, why don't you tell everybody how they can get in touch with us? Tell us how much they love Disneyland and how right Andrew was with all his picks from his trip, and of course, tell us how they can get in touch with us if they want to give us any other feedback.
Yes. So if you guys have any thoughts, comments, opinions, questions, concerns for us or for Andrew, please feel free to send us an email, disneyassembled@gmail.com, or you can send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff, all at Disney Assembled. But if you guys want to support the show further, the link to our TeePublic, Patreon, Buy Us a Dole Whip, all that other cool stuff is on the website, disneyassembled.com, and make sure to go check it out.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate consideration for that. Andrew is a member of our Patreon. We get stuff out there many times a week. We share stuff on our Patreon for our members, but we have a YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you're watching us live, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching the tape, or maybe you're just listening to the podcast, we appreciate your subscription over on YouTube. And of course, the best thing you can do if you want to help us create more joy in the world, that is tell your friends about the show. Leave us that rating and review if you're able to do so on your podcast player of choice. And of course, subscribe to the show there as always. All right, Mimi, we can
In-person
actually
high five.
and we can do an in-person high five this week. So Andrew, you can join us by high-fiving your camera too. So Mimi, high five. There we go. That is it. Congratulations. We hope that this episode brought a smile to your face, some extra magic to your day, and that very important sprinkle of pixie dust to your week. Thank you so much again for listening. Andrew, join us. And until next time, see you real soon.